to the Starry-Eyed podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Jen. On this show, we chat about all things Williams syndrome.
The ups and downs and what it's like living with.
And being a parent to someone with
Williams syndrome.
We're excited to share our community with you. Thanks for being here.
So you're testing negative now, huh?
Yeah, still having stomach problems from the Paxlovid though.
Yeah,
so that's fun. But
yeah, I remember
I tested negative this morning, so I'm good.
That's good. Yeah, my son tested negative this morning as well. Jen Keaton continues to test negative. Everyone at the Keaton household is testing negative, yet they are feeling a bit under the weather. So if it's not COVID, it's something else. It's kind of where I'm at too still, but I mean, I've had this cough since the middle of June, so I'm just feeling like I have to live with this.
Excuse me.
How dare you? Yeah, so this is a non-pod pod.
Yeah.
We're all still really exhausted from the convention in Phoenix.
Yeah.
and then Jennifer and her daughter, Stella, who just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Stella.
Happy birthday, Stella girl.
Jen and Stella and me and Bennett, we are going to head down this weekend to Georgia for Williams syndrome camp. So it never stops. It never stops.
The craziness never stops, let me tell you.
Yep. So we're so we don't have any like official guests or anything like that. No show coming up. Maybe we'll try to put something together while we're down at camp. We can maybe interview some people down at camp. I'm waiting on the footage from the live podcast at camp, which was super fun.
Yeah, that was great. I can't wait to see the footage of me pushing you on the cart.
Yeah. I don't know who has that. Who was that?
Melissa.
Okay, I'll get Melissa to send that to me.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember if that was Melissa or John had got that footage. But Brendan and I may have just engaged in some silliness around the convention.
Tomfoolery, which was amazing. Highlight of the convention for me.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
We had
a great time.
The convention itself was a great time. It was so much fun. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of us have gotten sick after it.
And
I can't help but to wonder if that's just the way things are going to be now.
Yeah, and my flight was canceled.
Yep.
There was a monsoon at the airport.
Yeah, the one day we had rain was the day that a lot of people were leaving.
Yep. And the other news and that. And,
yep. So let's talk just a
little bit.
2 seconds about that. So, Dr. Mary Van Hannigan, the executive director of the WSA, decided to move on to a different position.
Yes.
This was shortly after coming back from her maternity leave.
Yeah.
So it was a little, it was very surprising, and very unexpected.
I found out as my plane was about to take off after being on the tarmac for an hour. So I was like, what?
Yep. So we can talk about, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we're all together. Sarah Giddings, who, she's been serving as the interim executive director all while Mary was out, is just going to continue serving as interim executive director. And as we as a staff and Brendan and the rest of the board figure out how we all want to proceed.
Yeah, we're having a board meeting tonight to figure all that out.
Yep. So that's yeah, so that's
Oh, that's what
um
we're gonna do.
that is what we're gonna do. And so we'll talk more about that. We also I had a great conversation at convention with Robin Pegg, and I
Uh,
think we're gonna do a couple podcasts with her around the topic of back to school. Here
but
in like as soon as we get back from camp, we'll launch them in August here so that they get out at a in a timely manner. But we'll do one from an elementary school perspective, and we'll do one from a sort of a high school, later in high school perspective. And
I'm
and
down for that.
those should be a lot of fun. Of, yeah, of course, once the footage from the live podcast with Chris Baxter and Emmy Cogshaw and Gigi
Gianna.
yeah, Moreno. Um, Once we get that footage back, I'll get that out as well.
Yeah,
And that was yeah, that was a good time. Good time.
it was a great time. I glad I kept my head down low and avoided a lot of the other things that were going on there. So
Yeah, I mean there, you know, like any giant event, there's always a couple incidences, but and that, you know, that mostly just came from people being overheated, overstimulated, not drinking enough water, not eating enough. Um,
I'm
and
talking about more like the groups and the arguments and this and that.
oh, I'm not privy to
Oh, from what I heard, there was quite a few things.
well, yeah, I mean that doesn't I guess also that doesn't
Not
surprise
surprising
me.
though.
Um,
But
that's something that, you know, that's a topic we should get into at some point is
yeah,
uh how, you know, when you get a group of people with Williams syndrome together, for the most part, it's great until it's not. Uh,
yeah.
and how little tiny things get blown up to
Mm,
epic proportions
blown out of context.
and yeah,
Then
things are taken out of context and everyone just, you know, and a lot of people want to be heroes, and so they jump into the middle of something that doesn't concern them, and they don't have all the information. So there's a lot to talk about behaviorally
yeah,
um
at some point.
around Williams syndrome, and we'll get some good people to talk about that because it is a great like convention. You know, convention is a terrific time, and it's
Yeah,
uh, for the most part a super time. But you get people who are just their energy is peak from the moment they arrive. That is
start to end, and it,
unsustainable. Well, it's unsustainable. And so
yeah,
by the time you get to like day four of the convention, everybody's nerves are frayed and everybody is just exhausted and tired and just still so overstimulated. And so people do and say things that
they usually
they
wouldn't.
probably normally wouldn't.
Yeah,
So
yep.
yeah, so we'll get into
We'll
that
do that.
sometime. Go to the Williams. Go see search the go search out on the Williams Syndrome Association social media pages. You can see the announcement video for the 2026 convention. Uh, Going
Yes.
to Buffalo, Niagara Falls. Uh,
No.
should be a really. I'm excited for that. That'll be a good time.
Yeah.
But we got 2 years for that. So we have a lot of
Dude.
things to happen between now and then.
Yes.
What was your favorite part of the convention besides wheeling me around in the cart?
Just being there, being present, being in the moment, and representing as, my final time as a board member, and representing, as a co-host of the podcast,
Mhm.
and representing as a volunteer because it gave me a different perspective of like what it actually takes to like put things together from the bottom up and have everything work in a timely and fast, fashion, timely and whatever manner.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
it was really cool.
yeah, and thank you to everyone who came up to us throughout the week telling us how much they like the podcast, that they're avid listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody. It means the world to hear that um, that you all are enjoying it and that you're getting
Yeah, that
something.
was really special.
Um, Brendan and Jen were flipping rock stars at times because it was so much fun.
Had
Uh,
me tickled pink for sure.
yeah,
It was awesome.
yeah. So yeah, so thank you everybody for that. So you didn't participate in any programming. You were there as like a board member doing a lot of volunteer work. Thank you for that. Also, all the
For
volunteer.
sure. For
Do
sure.
you think in 2 years when you're not a board member anymore, do you think you'll do go back and do some of the programming, go do some of the fun things that everybody does, or do you think you'll stay sort of more on the volunteer side?
I really don't know. You know,
That's
it's 2 years away.
that's 2 years
It'll be my
away.
first it'll be my first time on the dream team.
Yeah,
So, and I have a lot of friends on the dream team and everybody's a little bit more laid back on the dream team.
yeah.
So, you might find me in the dream team. You might find me volunteering. I don't know yet. I have time to think about it.
Yeah,
So,
and frankly, and this isn't, I'm not breaking news or anything like that. This is just who knows what, we might come up with some changes on how the convention is going to work. And
yeah,
maybe it is more, maybe it's broken up differently, or maybe the activities are more like, yeah, you can be part of this group of people, sort of by your age, but the things that you do are optional. If you don't want to go, you don't have to go. Who knows
right.
what we're going to be doing in 2 years and how we're going to approach this, and who knows what kind of awesome ideas the people in Buffalo, the Buffalo Niagara people, the kind of cool
Yeah.
ideas they're going to have for us. So,
Yeah.
um, it might necessitate doing things a little differently. But yeah, the only thing constant is change.
Yep. I mean, I think I work great as a volunteer. It's more my speed, you know, the less trauma and the less that kind of thing, the better
Yep,
for me.
yep,
But I also want to be able to hang out with my friends,
right.
so I gotta figure out that counterbalance.
Yeah.
But there's time.
I'm very excited. Next year I'll get to go to Buffalo at some point and do a site
Yeah.
visit. I'm excited to see sort of how everything is going to what everything looks like, and how we can imagine doing everything. And yeah,
Yeah, I think I might actually be going to Buffalo and Niagara in September. Um,
cool.
my biological father and I, we have this thing, what we call a man trip.
Oh yeah.
So, so what we do is we pick a place, we go there for a week, and then it's no holds bar. Um, we were gonna go to Canada, but then I met or Canada, then it was to Georgia, Savannah, but
Hmm.
then I'm like, ooh, the convention is gonna be in Buffalo, Niagara.
You could get ahead.
Want to go there, which would be
We could do a
easier for
live
us.
on. We could do a live report,
Yeah.
a Brendan
So
live report remote from Niagara Falls.
yeah,
As
I
you
mean,
go
nothing is
over a
set in.
barrel, as you
Yeah,
go over in a barrel the falls, and see if you survive.
yeah, nothing is set in stone yet, so
Yeah.
we'll see. There's still time to figure it out.
All right. Well, my friend, I'm glad to hear that you're testing negative. Glad you're feeling
Yes,
better.
yes,
And we will resume regular podcast services as soon as we can.
yes,
And as
yeah.
soon as we have brain cells that are functioning.
The
Uh,
podcast is not over, people. I
oh
can tell you
goodness,
that.
no,
No,
no.
no.
That would be a giant chunk of my will to live that would be gone then.
Yes.
All right. My friend, we will see you soon. And
Okay.
um, thanks again, everybody, for listening and watching, and everything you've done for us.
Uh,
Hearts. Let's
go.
do
Hearts
hearts,
and croutons,
croutons
people.
and hearts, baby. Where's my croutons? Boom, there's my croutons.
Where's the
Doesn't hearts. All right.
thing? It's not
Okay.
gonna work this time. Oh, well, that works.
All right.
too.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
This has been the Starry-Eyed Podcast, presented by the Williams Syndrome Association. The show is hosted by Jennifer Keaton and Brendan Lemieux, and produced by me, Joel Listman. Theme song by Tommy Barbarella and Mariella Elm. Got a question for the show? Email us at podcast@williams-syndrome.org or message us at the Starry-Eyed Podcast page on Facebook. Video version of the podcast available on the Williams Syndrome Association channel on YouTube or on Facebook. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or comment on the video version, and maybe it will be featured on a future episode. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Starry-Eyed Podcast wherever you get your podcast delights.